What's up, Golden Frying Pan people? Welcome back to the kitchen. I hope you guys are having a good week. This is Portal 2, one of my favorite games. This is an interesting part of Portal 2 as well. It's directly after you fall, after Wheatley betrays you and everything like that, and it turns GLaDOS into a potato. But we're not necessarily here to talk about the game itself. Obviously, this isn't quite a let's play or a playthrough of this game that's nearly like 20 years old now. No, this is kind of just me gushing about it because holy crap, do I love this. I think there's something so interesting with video games in particular whenever it comes to atmosphere. I talk with one of my good buddies, my good friend. His name is Zarkozy. And one of the first conversations that we ever actually had was about Half-Life. More than Half-Life, it was about Source games, and it was one of the things that we talked about is Portal. Now, a difference between me and Zark with our taste in games is he prefers Portal 1 while I prefer Portal 2. He just prefers that dark, desolate, sort of forgotten nature of Portal 2, or Portal 1, and that's totally respectable. It feels more eerie, and I'll give him that. It definitely does. Portal 1 has a lot more like uncanny ambiance to it. It feels a lot more desolate. That's entirely valid. However, something that I love, absolutely adore about Portal 2 that I feel like Portal 1 has, but Portal 2 just does so much better, is this just atmosphere of it being forgotten. Just kind of what I want to talk about today. The idea of being forgotten. I love mountains. Do you guys like mountains? Just like as a set piece. I think mountains are really cool as a set piece. And there's a couple different reasons for that. I don't know. They're just very dynamic. They're always so like isolated because I mean, you can't really create a thriving civilization on, you know, a mountaintop. That's not quite how that works. And so there's so many stories of people like, you know, climbing, besting, or overcoming mountains, right? Oh, see, this is just so awesome. And another big part of that, I feel like, is the grandiose nature, which Portal 2 nails so perfectly. Because, I mean, look at this. Look how big and forgotten it feels. To talk more about mountains. I was initially going to make this video of me playing a mountain based like level in Celeste or clearing out a mountain in Minecraft, but first of all, I was not doing nearly good enough in Celeste, and in Minecraft it just wasn't launching. So we're playing Portal 2. And maybe that's for the best, because something that I feel like neither Minecraft or Celeste would really nail is the atmosphere, which is a big part of being forgotten. There's so many different adventure games that I fall in love with that I know have become absolute classics, you know, like Ocarina of Time. A big aspect of Ocarina of Time is how you're exploring these lands and they just feel forgotten. You know, you're coming from before, like even before like everything goes terribly and everything like that. Even before like Ganondorf takes over everything, there's just this unbridled feeling, especially in places like, you know, the old forest temple, of it just being abandoned, of it being gone, you know, of something used to be here but it's not here anymore. And I just love that so much. Portal 2 does a phenomenal job of it, where Portal 1 does a better job of feeling eerie, because it's like, it feels like someone should be here. This feels like there was someone here. Someone was here, but it's intentionally trying to be forgotten. And it's trying to be covered up, and that's so cool and mysterious to me. I don't know. It's so attractive to me. I don't exactly know why, but I feel like it's something that is cool. You know, I don't need to have a big grandiose conversation about this every single time of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But I guess there is, in a sense, a part of, being lost, which is a big part of the attraction of stories and atmospheres like this. A big part of video games in general is just being able to see these these things that you would never be able to see if you weren't actively doing it yourself, you know? Cave Johnson. Yeah, whatever. I want to go see the Borealis first. But no, it's so cool to just see these forgotten places. We inherently, humans like mystery. We like to figure things out. We're inherently curious beings, right? That goes without saying. I feel like, which is the one that you can get into? Humans naturally are very curious creatures. We always want to explore more and get more, and everything needs to be explained to us. Everything needs to be figured out. But what video games and different stories in general do so well, that I feel like are so compelling to us, is whenever you create a narrative, a question that cannot be answered, yet there's so many possibilities. Like, whenever a question can't be answered, but it's clear that the answer would be cool or dynamic, it's so interesting. We love potential, you know? That's a big part of, I don't know if that's a big part of humanity, but it's definitely a very interesting part of storytelling. How we seem to very consistently be attracted to these stories and worlds, that a big part of it is just the potential. What could have been here? What could have been here that caused all of this? Can you just think of all of the possibilities of what happened? What could have led to this? We're now several thousand, feet. Well, it was meters, but we're several thousand meters underground, and they have this big, expansive. I'm gonna mute that so I don't. These big, expansive areas where it feels like there is something. There's got to be something here. There's definitely an explanation, and it's vast. Yeah, wait. Is it over there? Where's the Borealis at? I know it's over here. I think it's over here at least. Is it not over here? I'm like so sure it's over here. You have no idea how sure I am. What? This feels like a part of BioShock. Whatever. But yeah, as humans, we're very curious beings. We always want to know the answer. We want to know the solution to something, or why it is the way it is. And whenever you have such a vast, expansive atmosphere, you can't help but want to know more. You can't help but want to ask and want to find out, like, how did this happen? How did these things happen? It's such an interesting conversation. To bring it back to mountains, mountains, I feel like, pretty structurally, while it is a very big thing, it's never something that can be really defined. While you can explore a mountain, and it will, of course, be huge, right? There's not really a small mountain that I can think of. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's been every time that you explore a mountain, it is an exploration. There are so many mountains, and they're so grand that you can't know all of them. You simply can't. It's not possible, right? And I feel like a part of that makes it more attractive. Because what? How do I do this again? This is also a puzzle game, and even though I'm very confident in my ability to play it, I haven't played it in a while. So, oh, yeah, I'm silly. Okay, yeah. Got it, got it, got it. Yeah. Anyway, where is it at? Yeah, got it. Sometimes it's easy to feel lost, but it's so much fun to wander, you know? And yet it will be very intimidating until you get to that point of enjoyment, you know? It is blatantly intimidating. Throw the switch. It's intimidating, you know, whenever you don't know what's going on, whenever you feel like there's something that, you know, like there's something here. And I feel like I need to know it, but sometimes the adventure is not knowing it, but exploring it and understanding that you can't know everything, that you can't climb every mountain. But that's okay. That is okay. It's okay to not climb every mountain. It's okay to not know every answer. Honestly, it's probably better. I feel like it makes it so that whenever you do climb a mountain, it makes it so much easier to savor. Sometimes it wouldn't be, because some people need to know the answer, you know? And there's definitely a very valid aspect of that. Oh, it's so cool. This is such a good game. It's a very valid aspect of that. People want to know the answer to things, but sometimes it's better to not know. Anyway, I think I'll leave it here. I hope you guys had a good week. I'll see you guys